We're back and starting with weather. I'm First Alert meteorologist Alyssa Heilman, and a heat advisory. Well, it's been out for our day today. It will continue until the 9 o'clock hour. That heat advisory is apparent for all of Michigan, and we're seeing why right now, because that heat index in some areas is in that triple-digit range. A couple areas seeing 100-degree heat index for the day today. And actually, that's the case for really a large portion of the United States, really continuing to see the high heat across the central southern portions of the United States, even into the north as well. You can see up into Minnesota, into North Dakota, some isolated areas also under this heat advisory. So again, impacting a large portion of the United States. And actually, we've got a heat advisory out for tomorrow as well, because we're just continuing to see that very high air temperature, the high humidity, the high dew point. That combines to bring that high heat index that we're going to see again tomorrow and likely into Tuesday as well. So looking ahead at Monday, specifically what you can expect for tomorrow with that air temperature and that heat index. Well, that heat index adding about 10 degrees as we get into those peak afternoon hours. Air temperature well into the 80s, possibly peaking into the 90s tomorrow. That heat index in the upper 90s, likely in many areas of Michigan, going to reach that triple-digit mark again for tomorrow, and likely again for Tuesday, or near that for Tuesday. Again, pretty similar to adding 10 degrees to that feel-like heat index temperature compared to that air temperature for those afternoon hours of Tuesday. Again, many areas going to see that triple-digit heat index for the day on Tuesday. I know we've been dealing with a lot of heat, a lot of humidity here in Michigan, really for the last week, and obviously continuing to see that the next few days, but there is a cool down coming our way. So we'll talk about that in just a second, but we also are continuing to see pretty damp days. That's been the case as well with all this humidity, all the moisture in the air. We've been seeing a good amount of rainfall over the past few days, over the weekend, now going to continue into the work week. 20% for both Monday and for Tuesday. Those are some isolated pop-up downpours, pop-up storms that we could continue to see. Best rain chance coming up in the forecast is Wednesday, when a cold front is going to move through, associated with a low pressure system well to our north. That's actually finally going to bring some of the temperatures down, the dew points down, taking out some of that humidity, where we'll finally see some relief Wednesday, Thursday, Friday from that high air temperature, that high humidity. But getting a check of our future track as we go through the next couple hours, just a good amount of cloud cover into tomorrow morning. Then that possibility of some isolated pop-up showers, downpours, possibly some storms continuing into Monday. Afternoon, evening hours mostly expected to be dry for most of Michiana. And then continuing into Tuesday morning, some cloud cover going to be around, chance for some low-end chances for some storms to pop up as well. This is for Tuesday, late Tuesday. You're seeing that cold front there just to our north. That's going to move through into Wednesday, bringing some of the cooler temperatures into Michiana. And speaking of those, well, yes, we've got well above temperatures continuing tomorrow and Tuesday, before you can see Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, starting to cool down below average temperatures expected to end your work week. That's the good news I have, right? Awesome. We've been sick.